What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update announcing the White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre absolutely losing it, having a meltdown. This newest update, guys, this newest clip where we got the heat from the press, just too much, too hot for her to handle, guys. We got her trying to defend her boss man, the big man, Joe Biden, his mental state and well-being. And it looks like the symptoms from Joe Biden is starting to rub off on her, guys. Maybe this is contagious amongst, the White House administration, the Biden administration, I should say, guys. I'm excited to get into the clips, see exactly what's got Karine Jean-Pierre in such an uproar. So when we get straight to the clips, I'll save my thoughts for the back end, guys. So definitely stick around till the end. So I just get my thoughts on the back end, and also YouTube push this video out. Definitely stick around till the end, you guys. But let's get straight to the news. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Yo, let's get into it, y'all.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, isn't it rich? All of a sudden, the left is going on and on about supposed doctored videos and misinformation, throwing a hissy fit about how dangerous it is to spread false narratives and to lie how Republicans are always playing a game of distraction. How frickin' rich. You guys don't get to do that. Democrats don't get to lecture us on cheap fakes. That's the topic of today's video. Let's take a look at the tantrum that's currently going on, and then of course, let's have a conversation about it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so we're still talking about that one clip where Joe Biden was wandering aimlessly at the G7. Supposedly, that clip is fake. It's a cheap fake, and Republicans are spreading a fake narrative about Joe Biden.
All right.
You wanted to say something about
Maloney, I don't have anything. I don't know specifically what happened with Maloney.
the wandering, the parachutist?
Oh, I mean, look, that was, as I said, it was a cheap, a cheap fake. That was definitely a cheap fake. It was. This was widely fact-checked. That video was widely fact-checked, including by conservatives media, on what happened, what occurred. The president walked over to give a thumbs up to divers who had just landed right in front of him, and if you run that tape a little bit longer, you would see what was happening, what the president was actually doing, and it is a cheap fake.
So that is what about nothing, and he's totally normal.
What I'm saying is, this is a president, right? Let's step back for a second. Instead of, and I said this moments ago, instead of Republicans, focusing on the president's performance in office and what he's been able to accomplish, his actual record, they do these cheap fakes. They're cheap fakes. And you're asking me about the Maloney, you're asking me what happened. That video was, okay, let's talk about Juneteenth. The president stood there listening to the music, and he didn't dance. Excuse me, I did not know not dancing was a health issue. That is a weird thing to actually flag when, if you look at the people who are around him, you look at the expanded video of the people who were around him, they were not. There were some folks who were not dancing either, and that has been fact checked. I mean, just because you're standing up listening to music and not dancing, that is not a health issue. That is just not a health issue.
Give me a frickin' break. We're spreading a fake narrative. It's cheap fakes. No, it's a pattern of behavior. They want to pretend as if this whole thing's been fact-checked and debunked. All the fact-checkers and all the debunkers already clarified the record. No, they didn't. They played defense for Joe. They claimed, well, he was actually talking to another person in the background. That changes literally nothing. We knew that he was talking to a person in the background. The point is, time and a place. He's the president of the United States at the G7. He ought to be paying attention, not roaming around aimlessly and forgetting every 2 seconds where he is. But apparently, that's the observation here, but Democrats want to nitpick and pretend to fact-check with ridiculous semantics, and the accusation is that Republicans are lying about Joe Biden. Quote, they don't have a message, they don't have anything to run on, and they don't want the topic of conversation to be about Joe Biden's track record, so this is what they're doing, resorting to cheap fakes. Give me a frickin' break. First of all, Republicans have all kinds of things to run on. The people who have nothing thing to run on, well, that's obviously the Joe Biden camp, constantly going on about the democracy being a threat or whatever. You're the ones with nothing to talk about. You're the ones attempting to imprison your political opponent because you literally have no leg to stand on. How utterly ridiculous. The memes already started rolling out. There's this one from Dre Fanzer Memes, which was absolutely killer.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here. Okay, so you did not see Biden wandering around aimlessly, freezing up, himself, sniffing dignitaries, falling asleep, drinking cocktails, and what you actually saw were cheap fakes. It's like a deep fake, but it's just the real video that we don't want people to see.
It's perfect parody. You didn't see what you were seeing. No, those were cheap fakes. What a joke, but it's pretty much the running trend here. This is what they do. Inflation is through the roof. No, inflation is actually very moderate, they told you. The border's in crisis. No, the border's actually secure. They think you're stupid. They think you're blind. They think you're deaf. They think you're easily programmable. There's simply no other way to describe this kind of behavior. They are actually trying to pretend as if this whole thing is a Republican conspiracy theory. Here's the perfect interaction actually to make that point.
Secondly, there seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation, and so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation. And I'll quote the Washington Post, where they wrote about this, and they said how Republicans use misleading videos to attack Biden in a 24-hour period. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here.
That White House reporter asked about a rash of videos that have been, quote, edited to make President Biden appear especially frail or mentally confused. The absolute audacity of these people. Videos have been edited to make Joe Biden appear? We don't need to make Joe Biden appear as mentally unfit for office. He appears that way, openly, live, in front of the camera, every week, making it quite apparent to us that he's obviously not well.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was to look, a solid meeting with the Los Angeles and what am I doing here?
I mean, for Pete's sakes, the guy's freaking falling apart. He can't even campaign.
You know, they said that the former president's been off and the current president's been on. Really? I mean, I thought the president had a horrible week. I don't think Michael Steele can actually believe what he just said, the former RNC chair. The president, Biden's been on? I mean, he arrives at the G7. He's got to sleep a day. He blows off a dinner. This is the stuff where you get things done, where you use your friendships to get some knowledge on the economy, on the military, what's going on with Vladimir Putin.
You would hope.
You would think, but not if you go to sleep. Well, so how could that look good? I mean, how could you say they did well? And then when Zelensky says, I need you to stick around to Switzerland for a way forward with a peace summit with Russia, he says, sorry, Jimmy Kimmel's got a gig for me, and George Clooney's going to be there with his half shirt unbuttoned, and I need to show up there. And he sends the vice president instead of sitting with Ukraine. While the former president sits in Detroit within an all-black church.
Yeah, 100%.
He's having celebrities go out on the campaign trail for him, but apparently we're just inventing it. Not actually happening, doesn't actually exist, just a figment of your imagination. Apparently Joe Biden's issue of looking severely unwell and mentally unfit is a result of a Republican cheap fake misinformation operation. So incredibly frickin' rich. Coming from the people who literally lie about everything. Coming from the people who do nothing but take clips and misrepresent them completely out of context. Coming from the people who literally lie about everything. Yeah, you don't get to do that. These are the same people who pushed for the 25th Amendment to be used against former President Donald Trump because he carefully walked down a slippery ramp attempting not to fall. Yeah, if that wasn't a cheap fake, if that wasn't misrepresenting reality to promote a bogus narrative, then I don't know what is. Or the countless other times they've taken Trump's quotes out of context or released frivolous reporting based on unsubstantiated facts. This is nothing but pure projection. Republicans aren't making anything to appear as anything else. We're simply pointing out the obvious. And these leftoids are absolutely triggered. Keep screeching, keep crying, go on and on with your ridiculous tantrums. It will change absolutely nothing. The president has been pegged as a clear incompetent, a geriatric fool with a melting brain. You could try to fact check all the clips that exist on the internet all you want, but the facts simply won't change.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Liberal Hive Mind. I'll definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below. For those who want to go over there and check that out, also you guys to go over there and show our friend Liberal Hive Mind a bit of love. Oh my goodness, guys, that is absolutely pathetic coming from our White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre. Talk about a traitor, someone who needs to be thrown straight in jail, guys, because come on now, you're gaslighting and lying tactics. We can see straight through what you're saying. You know, you're trying to placate and lie, cover up for your boss, man, the big man, Joe Biden. It's just not working. You know, people can see straight through it. And let's not forget, Americans are living straight through what Joe Biden is trying to say is all peaches and cream. But I'll speak for all Americans when I say we are definitely not living peaches and cream in this Joe Biden economy, this Joe Biden, you know, state of America. We got Karine Jean-Pierre pushing that narrative to try to say people fail to realize how, you know, much good, you know, how much success Joe Biden has had for America and done for America. It just doesn't make sense, guys. We're looking around like, what America are you living in, Karine Jean-Pierre, where you're saying that this guy Joe Biden has helped us more than he's hindered or hurt us? I mean, this guy has ran our country, tried to run our country directly into the ground. That's where we're heading towards. You know, we get Joe Biden back in office, God forbid, but, you know, we know exactly what's at stake. And that's why it's so important to all of Americans. Everyone's waking up from the right all the way to the left, guys. They're hopping ship, crossing the aisle in order to, you know, support Donald Trump because they know what's at stake with this guy, Joe Biden. You know, we can't keep covering up. They definitely can't keep covering up for him with these lies. And those who do continue to cover up for him all the way to the finish line need to be held accountable for their actions. You know, the lie, the cover up, the snow jobs. I mean, it's got to stop. We need to start holding these journalists, these media outlets accountable for these kind of lies, especially our White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, the constant, you know, she's got this curtain up for Joe Biden where she's like, no, he's all good. He's behind the curtain. He's good. You know, he's good. But we're seeing the G7 appearance right there in Italy that it just is not all good. We got Joe Biden. He's spaced out. He's turned around. He's looking at divers. I mean, there is a time and a place. You should be turned around at attention. We see every other world leader is looking in one direction, you know, smiling for the cameras, waving at one direction. Joe Biden is turned around the complete opposite way. I'm just like, come on, guys. I mean, it's almost as if this guy, Joe Biden, is sending invitations, hand delivered, other world leaders to, hey, come invade America because of the way, you know, he presents himself and presents us on the world stage. He is a representation and a head of America, you know, to the body that we are. And if our head is going over there looking like, hey, we want to be punched, they're going to come over here and punch us, guys. We're looking like a punchable face with Joe Biden in office as president. Guys, definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, what we're seeing. They're saying that, you know, G7 appearance was completely normal. Joe Biden is on the incline rather than the decline as far as his mental state goes, his well-being. Guys, definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know if Karine Jean-Pierre, White House press secretary, is correct on saying that Joe Biden is not on the decline. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share us out to as many Facebook friends as possible. You guys share the truth. And also make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost one thing, you guys. Hit that like button for your boy. And definitely hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We go.